application for MDOT. And Lenny, may I ask you, what does that stand for?
Program Project Management System.
Program Management. He's currently a president of this club. I don't have to repeat this. You know. And he encourages everyone to step up and become a member of the Toastmaster board that we have seen over the time how he recruited Melissa and Janice, and he has recruited some others too. So we thank him for that. Today's speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes, and the title is Too Late. Help me welcome Lenny Robinson, Too Late.
On July 13th, 2009, my son and I were sitting in our office / computer room playing a internet computer game against each other, when suddenly I felt dizziness, and I thought, oh, that feels kind of strange. I'm just a little bit dizzy. And then it started getting worse and worse. I got up, and I stumbled to the right, and I stumbled to the left, and I had to hold on to the desk to stop from falling. My son said, Dad, are you okay? And I'm like, no, call your mom. So my wife came up, and her and my son helped me get to the bed so I could lay down because I was just so dizzy. The next day, I'm still dizzy, I can't walk. They have to help me get to the car, and we go to urgent care. When I get to urgent care, the first thing they do in urgent care is, well, have to sit in the waiting room and wait entirely too long as far as I'm concerned. I thought, oh my goodness, this is horrible. The nurse gets in, takes my blood pressure, and she tells me, your blood pressure is 160 over 102. Me, not knowing much about blood pressure, is that okay? Is that bad? So I asked the nurse. She says 160 over 102 is pretty bad, and there's probably, I can't really say because I'm a nurse, but the doctor, I think, is going to want you to have an EKG. I had an EKG from the doctor, and he says it's abnormal, and they sent me to a cardiologist. Some of you probably are wondering, what exactly is blood pressure? I'm sure we've all heard the term blood pressure before, but don't really know what it is. Blood pressure is the amount of force that is in your arteries and veins as your heart pumps. Blood pressure is measured in 2 numbers. There is the systolic pressure, which when your heart compresses, it's the pressure in your veins and arteries when the blood goes out. And then there's the diastolic pressure, which is the pressure of the blood when your heart is at rest. So usually you'll hear 2 numbers when you hear blood pressure. You'll hear the systolic pressure over the diastolic pressure. Table 1 in your handout shows some blood pressures in the range from normal up to stage 2 high blood pressure. My blood pressure when I was in urgent care was 160 over 102, which is stage 2 high blood pressure, which is not a good thing. It's really bad, actually. When normal is 120 over 180. There are a number of problems that you can have with high blood pressure, and I have one of these problems. You can have heart disease. You can have disease of the coronary arteries. You can have stroke. You can also have kidney failure. When I left urgent care, I went to see a cardiologist where I went through 2 days of tests. And the cardiologist told me, based on your test, you have blocked arteries. So he said, do not go home. We'll call and get you straight into the hospital. So that was after 2 days of tests. So on July 15, 2009, I was admitted into the hospital because I had high blood pressure for long enough that it looked like it had caused arterial disease. I had blockages in 2 arteries. You're probably saying, okay, well, we can guess why, well, we've heard some things about blood pressure. We can guess why Lenny would have blood pressure. He's a pretty big guy. He smoked cigarettes at the time, probably drank a beer or two a little bit too often. And a lot of what people don't realize is high blood pressure can attack anybody. Tables, figure 1 shows some of the patient characteristics. Figure 2 shows that high blood pressure can affect any race, any ethnicity. Some of them are a little bit more prone to high blood pressure than others. It affects smokers, it affects non-smokers. High blood pressure can affect people who are obese or people who are at a normal size. It ultimately affects approximately 30% of the general population. So I encourage you to at least find out what your blood pressure is. You can go, if you don't go to the doctor on and get an annual physical, which I recommend that everybody does, you can get your blood pressure taken. There's pharmacies, you'll see blood pressure machines in Kroger and Meijer and Walmart. You can take it anywhere. So now that you have your blood pressure and you know what it is, what are some of the things that I can do to keep my blood pressure in a normal thing? Keeping a healthy weight helps keep your blood pressure, can help keep your blood pressure down. The more you are over your ideal weight, the more likely you are to have high blood pressure. Exercise regularly. You don't have to be a marathon runner or do a 5K in under 20 minutes like some of our people in our club, but exercise. Reduce the amount of salt that you take in can also keep your blood pressure normal. And for men, 2 alcoholic drinks a day is the maximum that's recommended. For women, it's only half of that. And the last one on ways to prevent high blood pressure is to try to reduce the stress in your life. If you're afraid of public speaking, that can be really stressful. So if you go to Toastmasters, Toastmasters could potentially, although I don't have the facts on this, could potentially reduce to stop you from having high blood pressure. My final recommendation to you is to, if you have any more questions, go talk to your doctor. You need to know what blood pressure is, understand the problems if you have high blood pressure, and try to keep your blood pressure regulated. Don't do like I did, because I was almost too late. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, thank you very much.